So, sir, it's 3, 2, 1. Over to you, sir.
Good morning, friends, and welcome to Live Pharma Coalition, the world's largest learning and sharing platform for the pharma professionals. Indeed, it has been your love, your support in our learning endeavor that we have been able to traverse 118 steps. Today is the 119th step in our endeavor towards enhancing learning and development in the pharmaceutical industry. Well, it is said that if an egg is broken from outside, life ends. But if the same egg is broken from inside, life begins. Great things always start from inside. So, changing any habit or lifestyle it works best when we are deciding and implementing on the new things. We all have the power to make those changes because change is the only thing that has remained constant in the dynamics of this world. Sometimes we need to keep practicing to develop the inner strength that we need. Sometimes we need to enlist the help of others while we discover and develop this inner strength. Friends, you have all what it takes. Just keep on learning, unlearning, and relearning the golden mantra for keeping yourself developed as far as learning and development is concerned. And LPC has always been the forerunner as far as developing the learning and development of pharmaceutical professionals are concerned. Right now, I will take you through the journey of LPC. So, welcome to Live Pharma Coalition, which is the world's largest online pharma discussion platform. In fact, this has become the largest online pharma discussion platform because of the participation of 45 plus pharma companies and institutions with more than 125 plus speakers and over 20,000 people reach both on Facebook as well as on YouTube. We have a strong executive member team on LPC of 28 members who are spread across the length and breadth of the pharmaceutical industry. In fact, they are spread across the globe and who help us and support us in our endeavor to spread learning and development across the pharma industry. This was one of the mega events that we had on LPC in the month of March, which was the LPC 100 conclave. And thank you so much for your overwhelming support for this learning endeavor. So for any type of association that you would like to have with Live Pharma Coalition, please get in touch with Mr. Raman, Mr. Yashwant, Mr. ICS or me, and we will be happy to help you in your endeavor. So this photograph is of the leaders who have been a very big support and a moral booster in our learning journey. And this photograph is reminiscent of the support and the love that you have given us with your kind presence on LPC 100 conclave at Mumbai in the month of March. So friends, we are on another mega event in the month of September. The date is 11 September 2022. The place is Ahmedabad and the event is LPC 125 conclave. The venue is Courtyard by Marriott. And so far, we are having Mr. Ganesh Naik, who is the Executive Director of Zydus Life, Mr. Venugopal Vijendran from Intus, Mr. Gagan Atreja from Africa, that is Eris Life Sciences, Mr. Ashok Bhatia and Mr. P.K. Rajput, who are going to grace the occasion with their gracious presence on this mega event. So friends, don't stop yourself from being a part of LPC 100 conclave. So for the early bird registration, which was fixed at 3,000, it has been brought down to 2,000 rupees so that it can enhance your participation. So please come and be an early bird as far as the registration is concerned, and we will be welcoming you to this gala event on the 11th of September 2022 at the Courtyard by Marriott. And for any type of help that you require, please get in touch with Yashwantji, Mr. Raman, Mr. ICS, or myself at the numbers that have been given. So we are the executive team who are there to help you out for any type of support that you need for participating in LPC 125 conclave. So please don't hold yourself back. Please come up and be a part of this mega event at Ahmedabad. So this endeavor wouldn't have been complete without the support by Imagica Health. In fact, Imagica Health, in a nutshell, explores the intersection between design, digital health technology, and content marketing for leading brands who have an ex-marketeer-led team of medical writers, graphic designers, teamers, and coders who serve the pharmaceutical for bettering customer engagement, bringing patient centricity, improving control on the sales team, and increasing the return on investment for their various marketing campaigns. So thank you so much, Imagica Health, for your constant support in our learning endeavor. Please continue your support in our learning journey. So now welcome to LPC, world's largest pharma learning platform. And today we have on board Mr. D.N. Rao, a person who has seen it all. He has been into sales, he has been into marketing, he has been into product management, he has been into HR, he has been into L&D, OD, and everything. So just a little while back, we were having a discussion that except finance, which is still an unventured forte of Mr. D.N. Rao, he has been and he has seen it all. So today, Mr. D.N. Rao, who is the President HR and OD of Jackson Pal Pharmaceutical, he is going to dwell on the topic of current challenges in India pharma marketing. To support me in this learning journey, I have Mr. Yashwant Mishra, who is a sales trainer and leadership coach and the founder director of Benzene Ring Learning Solution. So thank you so much, friends, for being with us in the last session of LPC, which was on leadership, for your presence on Facebook and YouTube. So now it's time for me to hand over the next part of the session to Mr. Yashwant Mishra.
Thank you very much, Arpan. Thank you very much. At the onset, I would like to welcome all the respective viewers and thank them with a humble attitude for their continuous support and encouragement. As you know, Life Pharma Coalition is a global knowledge and networking platform. So there are two components. Second is networking. As you know, every Sunday we go live on Facebook and YouTube to share knowledge, and we invite industry experts to share their views. That becomes the knowledge platform. So for the networking is concerned, for that we have conclave, and we had recently LPC 100 conclave in Mumbai. It was a mega event and grand success. Now we are very shortly coming, as Arpan informed, LPC 125 conclave on 11th September. That will be a platform for knowledge and networking both. So we encourage you to participate in that. Now come to today's session, and I'm privileged to introduce today's speaker, Mr. D.N. Rao, sir. He is having more than 4 decades of experience in pharmaceutical industry. That is one part. More than 4 decades, that is 43 years of experience. And second part is across functions, not only in vertical. He has worked in sales, he has worked in sales management, he has worked in training and development, he has worked in product management, and he has worked in human resource management. And he is going to share with us current challenges in Indian marketing. Very, very important. Current challenges in Indian marketing and pharmaceutical marketing. If you will agree with me, in the entire gamut of healthcare, be it health insurance, be it pharmaceuticals, be it hospitals, be it supply, every year, the doctor is the core. Doctor is the healthcare practitioner is the core because he is known as the gateway of healthcare industry. But what D.N. Rao sir believes that the existence of healthcare is because of the patient. So it should be doctor-centric approach. It should be a patient-centric approach. That is what sir is going to share with us, and we are really looking forward to learn from sir. Sir, thank you very much for accepting our invite to be a part of LPC Live Pharma Coalition. We are privileged to have you, sir. Please unmute your mic and take us through the presentation.
Thank you, Yashwant, and thank you, Mr. Arpan, for saying so nice words about me. And I thank LPC also to get me on board here. This is let me tell you, you have opened up an opportunity for the first time to go live on Facebook. Of course, Facebook, I get a lot of guidance from my daughters of how to operate it. And yesterday you have taught me how to share also. So our interaction has started with me learning something from you. And I'll just share the screen. Now, let me tell you, it's a very, I'm not looking at the entire presentation or entire discussion from as a HR guy or as an industry guy. So that gives a limited option or a limited view of the entire gamut of healthcare. So after you said to me about these challenges and all, I started looking at it as a patient. Sometime back, one of my great mentor, Mr. Srinivas Lanka, he has told us about how a pharma professional should look at his manufacturing or his research and development or his marketing or his selling. So, such beautiful dimensions he has given. At that time, I was working with the Cipla. So that was the time we have launched these inhalers into the Indian market. The first inhaler in the Indian market was, say, inhaler.
Asthalin.
Metered doses, Asthalin.
Asthalin.
Now, Asthalin, you will see the pack even today, the color of the pack is blue, light blue.
Blue. Yes.
That light blue color, Cipla sustains that color. The other products, they may have changed that color, but Asthalin has that same light blue color. You know how that color has come? That color has come because that product manager at that point of time, I'm talking about 91, 87, 88, that point of time has understood how a patient is gasping for breath. And when he is gasping for each of his breath, what are the inner feelings that come out? What are the colors that give him that pleasantness? So that light blue color is a sky. The patient is looking at the sky. For every breath that he is taking, he's asking the air, he's asking the atmosphere, please save me. So my mentors have taught me to be patient-centric. So with this background, I will try to share the screen. Is that fine?
Visible, sir.
So I'm saying current challenges in Indian pharmaceutical healthcare industry, because pharmaceuticals is a part of this overall healthcare industry. Now, this is the way expected, integrated, ideal view of healthcare. At the center stands the patient. At center lies down the patient. And you have manufacturing, you have R&D, you have marketing, you have healthcare professionals. You have the human capital, now called as human resources, fund management, supply chain, media partnership, technology, and the whole lot of the various functions of the industry, healthcare industry, have to get focused to the customer. This is the most ideal view. But then we cannot have anything ideal. There is nothing like ideal. There is no ideal product. There is no ideal company. There is no ideal wife. There is no ideal son. Unfortunately, this is the current view of the entire healthcare industry. At the center, you have the doctor. All the entire pharmaceutical industry, as well as healthcare industry, the focus becomes the doctor. Because there is a huge gap between what we call as a customer and who is a consumer. Consumer is paid out and customer is brought in. If people who are in the pharma industry know what I'm talking about. Now, why this integrated view has become like this from patient, why we have moved to the doctor? There are a lot of, let us unfold that entire story. Now, this COVID actually has opened up a lot of what you call mind-boggling avenues, opportunities to the healthcare industry to become better. You have seen in the first wave of COVID in 2019, it was a close down, but not a close down to the healthcare industry. Healthcare industry was functioning. I remember my representatives, managers, field managers, my marketing people, my distribution people were all functioning from home. And we have opened up something called as a digital marketing. So this patient-centric view actually has opened up and redefined our entire strategy, our actions, our orientation, our mindset towards the patient. But still, a lot of things have to be done. Now, something very interesting has opened up and created a kind of a Pharma Vision of 2020. Now, till 2019, even though we were leaders of the pharma industry across the globe, we were not recognized. COVID-19 has brought, has got us recognized. Not that before COVID-19 we were still leaders, but the recognition has come after COVID-19. Almost 50% of the world's vaccines are produced in India. 25% of the world's drugs formulations are produced in India. And we said we will be end-to-end production capacities. Are we? We really are not. COVID-19 has proved that we still have to work on that end-to-end production. If China closes its tap, Indian formulations don't come out as they are. What COVID has brought is again the patient centricity, which was missing. Affordability is one of the main components of patient centricity. Now, is that happening? Government has opened up the Jan Aushadhi. Is Jan Aushadhi working? I have my own doubts. Now look at the affordability is a major issue in pharmaceuticals, even though the cost of drugs in India are 10 to 15% of the world's cost. What I mean is 15% to 25% of the world's formulations are made in India, but only India pays for 2%. On top of it, we have our poor insurance ecosystem. Practically, we don't have insurance, excepting hospitalization. Hospitalization is a very small part of accounting to around 7% to 8% of the total healthcare industry. But greatly, that ecosystem which the developed nations have is missing in India. And healthcare governance is, at the end of the day, you go to any pharmacy and ask for a medicine, he'll give you. Prescription doesn't have any value. You can get medicines in India without a prescription of a doctor. You can get medicines, you can trade on medicines at very, very high discounts. The selling price versus the MRP is a huge difference. These are all issues of governance which are affecting the affordability of the patient. Now, COVID-19 has brought this digitalization. Sometime back in 2018, 2017, the beginning part of this decade, when the new government has come up in 2014, when government was saying this, we have to have digital money, we have to improve our digitalization, we have to, every person, every adult has to have a bank account, smartphones. We were wondering, is it possible in India? But you have seen, after the government has taken over that digitalization, a lot of change which has happened across the country. Now, we know that today, India has the highest number of mobiles in the world as a country. Highest ratio of population to mobile is with India. But did it happen in pharma? It's a no. Digitalization has happened across the industry, across the country. People have got now used to smartphones. They can operate various technologies within the phone. But did it happen in the pharma industry? It did not happen. this the primary thing here is the mindset. For example, in the pharma industry, iPad has failed, miserably failed. Companies wanted to bring iPad kind of promotion, brand promotion to the doctors with iPads. What happened to it? It is merely being used as a substitute to a visual aid. The capability of the iPad was not utilized by the industry. And what are we showing in these iPads? We are showing only PDFs, PDF drama, no PDF which opens, closes, so that it is another kind of visual aid. iPad replaced the visual aid. That's it. It did not replace the artificial intelligence. It did not bring that artificial intelligence into the industry. Now, if this is from the pharma point of view, from the healthcare industry point of view, what is patient engagement in chronic therapies? Totally missing. Like, for example, today, you have companies. I have many small startups which I have seen. One of them is Mcura. What they have done is they have created a kind of a virtual clinic. That virtual clinic, the patient can interface with the doctor. And they are finding it very difficult to reach the doctors, and they are unable to change the mindset, both of the doctors as well as the trade. You would call up a clinic or a nursing home and ask for an appointment. As a patient, you call up the clinic and ask for an appointment. How you get? You get the response would be, come down at 6 o'clock or come down at 10 o'clock. And there is a huge crowd. You go at 6 o'clock, the patient goes to the doctor at 6 o'clock or 10 o'clock. There's a huge crowd and each trying to push himself. How is this different from what it was 40 years back? The patient meeting and getting the services of the doctor, is it different now? What is the use of this digitalization in the healthcare industry? Digitalization across the country, but healthcare industry moving in the same direction. As I said, one, healthcare and pharmaceuticals, the way they go and meet the doctor has not changed. Even today, I find my medical representative making the 10 or 12 calls and waiting, giving their card and waiting for the doctor to call in, going and taking out the same visual aid and rotating that visual aid and asking for usage of the product. And look at the patient. The patient also has the same struggle. He goes to the doctor, waits for the doctor. He doesn't know when he will get a call from the doctor, and there is a crowd waiting. What is the use of digitalization? Now, so this is the greatest challenge that the industry, healthcare industry, as well as the pharma industry have to take and move forward. There are various methods can be used for getting the attention of the doctor, for promoting the product, for providing services. Still, my representative goes and books goes to the retailer and takes an order from the retailer in his order book. Is it necessary? Is it not waste of time and waste of resource? Still, the patient goes to the retailer and stands in a queue there or stands in the crowd there and gives his prescription. I have seen, when I was in US, I have seen that interface between the patient and the doctor happens over WhatsApp or over web. Then the prescription of the doctor is directly sent to the pharmacist, and the pharmacist directly posts the medicine to the patient. Patient need not move from his house. Where are we? We are very, very far away from this. As far as the healthcare industry is concerned, there is a lot that needs to be done. As far as pharmaceutical industry is concerned, there is a lot that has to be done. There has to be a total remodeling of both the marketeers, the financiers, the HR people, the field force. A total remodeling of their mindset is required. Okay. Now look at the sales force. There is a lot of resistance from the sales force when it comes to what you call usage of this digitalization or usage of the technology. They fear that their relationship with the customers, with the doctors, with the trade will lessen. They also have a fear that performance and accountability they will not be able to manage. Coming to the marketing teams, there has to be a reinvention of the marketing courses that happen in institutions. They are all that, the same course. There is no change in the way the people are taught, students are taught. Whether it is B Pharmacy or MBA in marketing, the same models. Now, there's large things have to be done as far as the industry and institute interface is concerned. Now, if you look at the entire industry, we have around 5 lakh people working in the industry, for example. This 5 lakh people go on moving across the industry from one company to another company. There is no, people are not picked up from the institutions into the industry to bring in that new thought, to bring in that new ideas. Now, within pharmaceutical company, the entire digitalization is handled by the IT guys. IT guys are technology specialists. Digitalization is how to convert that entire information technology to the usage of the healthcare industry, to the usage of the customer. This digital marketing sells out of the top 300 companies, hardly around 15-20 companies have. Now, another great challenge that we face in the industry, this is within the pharmaceutical industry. Like, pharma brands have become similar to cigarette brands. I don't smoke, but I know what are the brands available. Like, you have Wills, you have Goldfleck, you have Red Wills, you have another Wills. All are manufactured by one company, ITC. ITC has 15 cigarette brands, and so is in pharmaceuticals. One company has telmisartan. The same company has 4 or 5 brands of telmisartan. Are you not creating noise? You're not creating communication. You're creating a noise, and noise is always disturbing. Why it has to be so? There is some regularization has to take place in this. Now, in the bargain, what is happening? Now, you are looking at only the interest of the organization. I launched so many brands of the same molecule in my different divisions, and I increase my revenues. But on the contrary, what is the damage you are creating to the industry as well as the patient as well as the trade? Now, if it is one brand from one company, if not all, what happens? You can, what they call in armed forces is force. It can become a kind of a force multiplier. This brand can be made available across. The greatest challenge for the patient, again, which I missed in my second slide, is running around from pharmacy to pharmacy to get the brand which the doctor has chosen. Why the pharmacist is not able to stock these brands? Because for the same molecule, you have some 300 different brands across the country. And you are further contributing to that by adding another 5 brands of yours along with the other 1 brand that you have. So, one molecule having 300 brands, who is the contributor? The industry is the contributor to this. As a result, what is happening for each brand you are promoting? That is duplication of your efforts, duplication of your resources. As a result of that, who is suffering? The patient is. From the governance point of view, why can't it be one company, one molecule, one brand? So this can have a huge impact on how the availability of the product as far as the patient is concerned. You may say that I have the capability to manufacture so many brands. I have a large vertical manufacturing unit running into crores of tablets. That is fine. But to what extent it is useful for the patient? Therefore, I said in my first slide, patient centricity is totally missing in the entire industry. Now, what is the engagement with the pharmacist? I tell you, see, Mr. Yashwant and Mr. Arpan, let me tell you, I am not talking as an industry person. I am very grateful and faithful to the industry. But let us look at ourselves and let us not fool ourselves. Just because being in the industry, talk high about the industry, but not looking at the gaps in the industry is cheating the industry. What is the engagement of a pharmaceutical Indian pharma industry with the retailer? Give him discounts. Is there any other engagement? How many companies have actually put a patient literature in the pharmacist, given to the pharmacist? How to use the product, how to use what are the things that he should not do with the product? Has any such kind of education, engagement with the patient through the pharmacist has happened? Hardly any. And I'll in my question answer session, you can challenge me on this. Having worked for 4 decades in this industry, I have absorbed a lot of such things. So there is no direct feedback or indirect feedback from the patient to the industry. How many of us have really gone and met the patients? I've seen some people working in oncology, cancer medication. They go to the patient because they make the patient, there are limited number of patients. There were limited number of patients, and they used to engage with the patient. There are also a limited kind of engagement. Only when the doctor gives the address and name of the patient, they go to the patient. Is it not important with the patient suffering from heart disease? Is it not important for the patient who is suffering from diabetes and other chronic diseases? I'm not saying that the industry has to go and meet all the patients. No, but did we engage them? Either directly in if the groups are limited, or indirectly using pharmacists. Pharmacists is a great channel that we have, underutilized. I think, I don't know what is the time now, Arpan and Yashwant. I have shooted, I think, 20 minutes. I have overshot your 20 minutes given. However, this is what I wanted to, I limited that if every organization in the Indian pharmaceutical industry, leave alone the healthcare industry, if every individual working in this industry keeps in mind that they are getting paid, their revenues are getting billed, not because of the doctor, but because of the patient. If we have that empathetic view, I think the color of the industry will change drastically. This is what is my message, Yashwant and Arpan, and all the people who are hearing this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Please stop sharing the slides, sir. That's great. That's great. Sir, thank you very much. Very short, we can say crisp and short presentation. And you have touched a very important pain area of pharmaceutical as well as healthcare industry. Many of us ignore actually, and you have very rightly put that its entire industry should be not doctor centric, it should be patient centric. That is one wonderful thing you told.
I'm not saying, Yashwant, that it should not be doctor centric. At the end of the day, all your research and development is based on what the doctor tells you.
Exactly.
Patient in the bargain, let me not miss my patient. It is like, a father has 3 children, out of them one is a girl, and it's a girl. It's only a girl.
Yes, and then 2-3 important take-home message I will share with the viewers, which rightly you have told. COVID-19 have made us world leader recognition, given a recognition of Indian pharma industry on end-to-end solutions. That is one thing. Great thing is that. Then you told about patient centricity, which should be priority, but it is missing. Healthcare practitioners are entire in the center. Then affordability is a big concern. Although, despite that price of drug is lowest in India, despite that, affordability of the patient is a big challenge. We need to address that. Poor insurance ecosystem in India is another pain area, sir. And then that is what is the, and that healthcare governance. These are the challenges you discussed with us. Then you told about digital dilemma. Very nicely you told about digital dilemma. Going digital is no more an option. It has become mandatory. But how quickly you are adopting digital is a big question mark. Entire world has adopted digital. Now even Panipuri wala is using Paytm and Google Pay, but pharma is way behind in adopting digital. That is one important point you told. And one important thing is how quickly we should adopt digital, and we should use that digital in our day-to-day issues. Like even now, people are detailing through visual aid, and those MNC people who are using tablet, they are showing PDF only. That is what is that. So visual aid is being replaced by the tab. They themselves don't know what are the different use of tab, multimedia promotional tools. That is what is the. So although we are trying to adopt, but we are way behind as compared to the other industries. Then you told about the very important point of patient engagement is should be there. Very important. Pharmacist engagement and remodeling of field force capability. These are the three ways we should entire pharma industry should talk about. Not only that, sir, sales force moral is very important. Not only that, marketing, there is a need of reinventing the digital marketing. That is what is required in today's situation. It is very important. And one very important point you told about corporate academic collaboration. Very important for corporate academic collaboration means educational institutes which are there in pharmaceutical management, pharmacy, they should coordinate and cooperate with industry leaders, and digital transformation of the students should happen. They should also be aware, interface should be there. That is an important thing. Only creating noise will not do, just like you told about pharma brands are like just like cigarette brands. And today only, although I don't smoke, today only I came to know that ITC is having 10 brands, all the brands manufactured by ITC. And same thing happens that all the telmisartan of different companies manufactured by one. We are only creating noise, not putting right focus on patient centricity, educating pharmacist so that he can be a big contributor in healthcare system by making the patient aware, because patient will go to doctor, and who is always busy, apart from doctor he goes to pharmacist. And that is the time when pharmacist can spend some time with patient on educating him about the devices, about the healthcare, about the do's and don'ts. That is what is a missing link. So really thoroughly enjoyed, sir. Thank you very much for sharing these insights. And many of our participants have given a lot of appreciation. I would like to take their name. Bipin Dixit, thank you very much, Bipin. Satyam Tawar, he was in Sipla, he knows you very well. Thank you very much, Satyam, for your appreciation. Arumugam Arasan, Rupak Rathod from Zydus, thank you very much, Rupak. Rajesh, and then thank you very much for that. Sudeep Bhomik, Abhi Hussain, thank you very much. There are a lot of questions are also there. So I will go to Arpan for the question.
Yeah.
Unmute, Arpan, unmute.
Yes, it was indeed a very insightful presentation from DN Rao, sir. Well, the pharmaceutical industry has always remained a very conservative industry as far as implementing changes are concerned or embracing technology is concerned. But then COVID-19 played a small sport as far as embracing technology. So as you rightly said, digital is no longer an option. It has become a priority, because if we do not embrace digital, we will be left behind in the race. And the presentation that DN Rao sir gave was that we are slowly changing over from customer centricity to patient centricity. But he again proved the point that customers are very important, but at the same time, we should also prioritize our patients, because they are the end user of our products, whereas the research and developments which are done are based on the opinion of our customers. So well said, sir. So one thing that comes to my mind, sir, as far as academics is concerned, in case of pharmaceutical industry, that how can the industry interface with the educational institutions for improving the pharma education? So kindly unmute.
See, that interface will come only when the industry picks up freshers, fresh graduates. There has to be some motive behind that, what you call that, the interface. Every organization is looking at experienced people. You have a product manager, you need a product manager, you advertise. I require 3 years experience, 5 years experience. Have that, experience is very important. I don't disagree with it, but have some 20%, 25% freshers into the. How will new ideas come? If I'm saying digitalization at D.N. Rao at the age of 64 cannot get into digitalization, or he can use, but he cannot create. That co-creation will come only when you have the new talent inside the industry. Hardly we take. How many I have seen? Very few organizations like that. As one of them is Cipla, one of them is Torrent. They have every year they pick up. There is the HR team there. They pick up the from the industry. There are some 40 or 50 graduates in various disciplines. They come into the industry. Such kind of organizations, they will have interface with the. Now every company, at least in the top 50 companies, every company has to have that interface and allow 20%, 15, 20, the way you can afford into the industry. Then that is the starting point of the interface. Interface doesn't happen in air. Interface happens when they are mutually benefited. Now what happens is, then you get a room. If you are picking up some people from that college, you can have an interface with that college. And that college, those professors who are teachers there, those teachers have to come and work with you to find out what are the current needs of your company. And like that, they get to know what are the actual work, what is the work of a brand manager, what is the work of a pharmacist in the R&D, what is the work of a pharmacist in the manufacturing. So that is molded into the courses there. So you get a kind of ready-made people who can they substitute that experience. What you are saying is freshers. Freshers, I have to invest a lot. My dear sir, that fresher, even though his tag is freshers, he comes with that education into your organization and produces. That is the interface I am talking about. Have I answered your question, Mr. Arpan?
Yes, sir. Fabulously answered. And that brings me to another question, sir. Nowadays, it's often said that in the pharmaceutical industry, we are having a dearth of good people, good talented people, especially in the front line. So is it the incapability of the hiring managers to spot the right talent, or is that pharmaceutical industry is not able to penetrate or attract people to join the pharma industry, or is it anything else that you would like to tell, sir?
It's a vicious cycle, Mr. Arpan and Mr. Ashwin. It's a vicious cycle. Like, I being in HR for a donkey number of years, I pick up one graduate who has done pharmacy. I pick up another graduate who has done sciences. Now, I give this science graduate 10 days training. With due regards to pharmacy colleges, he becomes as good as the pharmacy graduate in terms of the work that I need. Now, why should I pick up a B pharmacy guy whose expectations are much higher, who's academically much stronger than a BSc guy? Why should I pick up? So this is the way a HR manager works. Now, even if he is life sciences graduate, let us say life sciences graduate, Bachelor of Sciences, physics, chemistry, botany, zoology, kind of. How is he trained to become a professional in the industry? Does his college take training? Does his college have a training? They are teaching. Okay, let us call it for a moment teaching. They are teaching science. zoology, they are teaching botany, they are teaching chemistry, they are teaching physics. Are they teaching how to live? Are they teaching how to listen? They are teaching him how to read, how to write. They are teaching him how to speak. Are they teaching him how to listen? Is there any listening class have you ever heard of? A listening in communication, the greatest skill is listening. You and I know, Yashwant knows, he is in the L&D department. Mr. Arpan, you also know, you are a trainer, coach. Is any college teaching listening? So, when it comes to listening, I have to do that teaching. Now, how many 3 years that guy has spent in the college, and 3 years he has not heard that word listening. He doesn't know the spelling of listening. How is the industry ready? Now, if I pick up a guy who is experienced, he has undergone this, in some form, either consciously or unconsciously, he has learned that listening is important. Now tell me, whom should I'm a HR manager, and I am, at the end of the day, I am paid, I am evaluated on how good people I pick up for the job. If 100 people I have selected this year, out of that 150 have failed, I have also failed. If at least 60, 70 succeed, I am successful in my job. So this is a vicious cycle. Now we have to change this. So in my organization, I put 20% of the people should be freshers. I have done it my role. That is, I will take that. If that failure is there, I will take that failure. I'll take the responsibility for that. But 20%, how will new ideas come? It is like your mother cooking and your wife has newly come and made some additions into that. How beautiful it is. Experience is good. Lack of experience also is sometimes good. Have I answered your question, Mr.?
Yes, sir. It was very nicely said that experience is good, but even lack of experience is sometimes better. And like you said about listening, listen and silent, they have got the same letters. Listen and silent, they have got the same letters. And you can only listen when somebody is silent. And sometimes we do not get that silence. So that becomes an obstruction to good listening. That is why there is a difference between hearing and listening. Hearing, we hear everything, but listen, there has to be a rapt attention to whatever the other person is telling. So very well said, sir. And another thing, sir, you want to say something? Please.
That
please.
One slide on attention span I have skipped off because that takes us into a different dimension, which I'm going to say now. Our attention span in the up to 2000, the average attention span of a human being is 12 seconds. And now it has fallen below, it is 8 seconds. In the last 20 years, our attention span has reduced from 12 seconds to 8 seconds. The reason being, our thoughts, every minute, we get around 300 to 360 thoughts. But our ability to speak is only 60 to 80 words. That is the highest, highest. If you are speaking very fluent in the language and you speak very fast, like, that insurance guy says, he says risk, he says, mutual funds guy. He says, mutual funds are,
the disclaimer,
risk,
yeah.
he says, that is 60 words per minute. So your thoughts are 300, your words are only 60. Now, what happens is the human mind, attention span, I'm listening to somebody. I'm able to listen to only, he's giving me only maximum 60 words per minute. But my thoughts are 300. So there is a gap. What happens? My attention goes out. Attention is limited. That is the greatest challenge in listening. Unless you are trained to listen, you cannot listen. Because every time I'm trying to listen to you, I'm only trying to think at how I should respond. This is the internal barrier of listening.
Yes. In
Needs
fact, listening is a skill, isn't it, sir?
It's a skill.
Listening
It
is a
needs
skill.
training. It needs 100% training for both my marketing person as well as my sales person. My accounts department listens very well because they don't have anything to speak. They are very good listeners. My finance accounts guys. Hope I'm clear enough for us.
Yes, absolutely. So we had the 3 monkeys of Gandhi. Now there is a 4th monkey which has been added. Don't see anything bad, don't speak anything bad, and then don't hear anything bad, and now don't write anything bad. So the 4th monkey has been added with this digital era. Now coming to digital era, sir, you have been in the maximum part of the physical meetings. You have also now been a part of digital meeting. Now one question that always comes to me is that this digital meeting, how long do you think this will continue? Because you said something very nice about the attention span. It has come down from 12 seconds to 8 seconds, right, sir? I think that is because of the advent of the digital meetings. The attention span has come down. So do you think with the pandemic slowly but surely getting over, we are once again going to come back to the full-fledged physical meetings? Or do you think the hybrid model is going to stay?
So I think the hybrid model is going to stay because digital meetings, you mean Zoom and Google Meets and all,
Microsoft Teams and everything.
They are not substitute. There cannot be a substitute to the meeting per se. They can play a supplementary role, not they cannot substitute. The reason being, I and my wife, can we, let us say, go back to 1986 when we got married. Can we marry digitally? Can we live together digitally? Can we produce children digitally? Cannot. So you have to, that eye contact, that body language, that touch cannot be substituted.
Absolutely.
We will, one good thing or bad thing, I do not know. Hospitality industry is almost 50% of what it is.
Yes.
Because none of our managers are going and staying outside. And industry, I'm talking about the corporate sector, industry, not only pharma, all industry put together, the occupation was almost 40% of the total occupancy of the hotels across the country, across the world. That has gone. It has become 20 now. 20% gap is enough to wipe out the industry. Many hoteliers have lost their jobs. Hospitality managers have lost their jobs. Then the same has happened with the aircrafts. Airlines?
Yes, the aviation industry.
Many airlines have closed. Many airlines professionals have lost their jobs. No, it is okay. This is a momentary, setback, but again, it will roll back. They'll find out different kinds of opportunities and careers. But the thing is, the cost on the patient should have, has it come down? A question to ask: my traveling bill has come down. My lodging bill has come down. Did it impact the patient? On the contrary, industry has increased the price by almost around 8%, 6%. I think 6 to 7%. If last IQVIA data, if I see the growth patterns, price increases have resulted in approximately 6 to 7% increase in the turnover of the industry. Well, the cost has come down. The patient now has to pay an increased value, money for the same product that is getting. Very unfortunate. No? Is it not unfortunate?
Yes, absolutely.
Industry, pharmaceutical industry is the one which has least affected during the pandemic. And the cost of what you call profit margins across the industry have increased because of lower expenses and travel and accommodation. On the contrary, patient is paying. This is, I'm saying, when I used a single sentence there, governance. There's a problem with the governance. This is what I mean.
Absolutely. Absolutely correct, sir. And even we cannot single out downsizing also as one of the things that has also cut down on the costing of the companies. Many companies went for downsizing also. So
Downsizing,
you are right, sir.
to an extent, I agree with this because some companies, their turnovers have come down, particularly companies which are depending on their antibiotics. Their turnovers have fallen very greatly. The reason being, people don't go out, people don't eat out. Where is infection? Where is skin infection? Where is respiratory infection? Where is gastro infection? Those antibiotic, then they had to downsize. That is okay. That actually has not brought down the cost. It has brought down the turnover. Therefore, they had to. I'm talking about companies in chronic therapies. They have grown. Their costs have come down.
Yes.
Digital marketing has lowered their costs. Their turnovers have increased by 4%. Their prices have also increased. As a result of that, the customer is paying more. So the impact of what you call the lowering of the costs has not resulted into any benefit to the patient. A thing which has to be thought about. Governance has to be thought about. I will work for the interests of my company. I will only work for the interests of my company. I will not work for the interests of the patient. But governance has to work for the interests of the patient. This is what is the government and governance has to do.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Now, one thing that is very evident from what you said, that the physical connect is very, very important, and the digital connect was just a substitute. It was just a stopgap because of the COVID-19 pandemic.
It's supplement. Now also it will act as a supplement.
Supplementary, right? Because the emotion is most important in a physical connect, which is not there in a digital connect, right, sir? So,
emotion.
You would like to add
yes.
something? Yeah.
Emotion, yes. Understanding.
Yes.
Understanding. I understand your needs better. Because buying takes place only when emotional and rational needs are taken care of.
Correct.
Buying happens. So the entire economy stands on the buying and selling. The economy is built on. So it is essential that physical meat is essential.
Right. So thank you so much. Now I'll go over to Yashwant, sir, if he has got some questions from Facebook or YouTube.
Lot of sir, thank you very much, sir. Lot of experience, and we are getting learning from you. In fact, one of your previous colleagues, Susil Barkur sir, is also watching, and he has shared a lot of thoughts about that. The key to work for integrated talent management is very, very important. He says integrated talent management is the need of the hour. Not only that, sir has shared that the biggest problem in pharma is the flow of candidate. And pharma HR depends on the field recommendation to get the talent for field positions. Unless pharma HR creates an ecosystem of the supply of talent, the quality candidate problem will exist. Yeah. That is what he has also shared.
Very rightly,
well said, sir. Soft skills are the hardest to acquire. As you told about, listening skill is one of the most important for the student. Sir, Susul sir also shared that soft skills are the hardest to acquire. HR needs to work on employer branding for the job of MR. Thank you very much, sir. Even Yakaya Ambati, exactly talent pressure required, sir. This is what he shared. Then Mr. Vipin Kumar Dikshit has said, is a well said, sir. He is joining from Ethiopia, Africa. Thank you very much, Vipin, for joining. Nasiruddin Chishti, sir, please address on few use of iPad beyond detailing. So, as you mentioned, sir, people are having iPad, but they are using only PDF. So I think apart from PDF, because it is a very good interactive multimedia tool, they should use iPad for showing interactive videos on the live surgery or mode of action technology of the brand, or having some interactive seminars, some clip of the seminar, some talk from the subject matter expert, some case studies. So this is how they can use what they are using just for detailing and PDF. Right, that is what is there. This is what Arubugam sir want to know your thought about using the standard visualette versus electronic gadget. Which one will be better for future coming? I think you have already addressed that. Digital adaptation is the future coming. Rajesh Dubey has also shared his thought. It is wonderful, sir, to listen to you. Thank you very much for sharing his. So once again, thank you very much, sir. We really thoroughly enjoyed. I have requested Cecil sir to come and share his view Let us see. So anything else from your side, Arpan sir? One question from our regular viewer, Sudeep Bhaumik has asked, because you have also worked in HR, attrition is the biggest problem in current situation for the field managers. If you can give some tips to field managers, how to arrest this attrition, bring stability in team, it will be great for them, sir.
This I have been in the. I mean, it is a capability issue. It is a leadership capability issue. What happens is I am still working on that. I have been working on that for the last 20 years, and I'm still working on that. And it is not that it cannot be reduced. It can definitely be reduced. We have done it in various companies like Torrent. We have done it. We have done it in MCure also. We have done it. I've done it means as a team we have done it. Sushis is also a part of this, and he was with me in Torrent. That mindset of the manager has to change. Whenever I ask why that guy has left, they will say the answer which comes is that he got better salary, he left. When Sushil is there online.
Sushil sir, welcome.
Sushil, how are you,
Part
Very
of
good
LPC,
noon, welcome.
always ready to join us.
Sushil
Thank you
could
very
not
much, Sushil
resist,
sir, for
but
joining.
he
Thank you
entered.
very much.
So, answer is he got. When I join another organization, that organization will obviously give me 500,000, 2,000 rupees more only. They will not take me with the 500 rupees less or same salary. But that is not the reason, my friend. That is not the reason. 3 months back, 6 months back, this salary was good for him. Within 3 months and 6 months, how did it become bad? That is a question which we always ask. Definitely, salary is one of the reasons. Money is one of the very important reasons, but it is not all the reason for people to leave. And
Thank you, sir. Sushil sir, your view. Yes, sir.
Yes.
First of all, good afternoon to all of you. And I'm few of the very fortunate people whose career is guided by DN sir. And sir, I'm very thankful to LPC, Yashwant and Arpan that as soon as they have invited you, sir, they have shared the link. And just now Yashwant requested, Sushil sir, would you join? Maine kaha ki why not? Because my guru is there, so I need to be there. Sir, so
I am still not a guru, Sushil. I am still a sikshak.
Sir, that is there, sir. Sir, the power of your learning, sir, you may not be knowing, sir, but it has created a lot of impact on many people like me, sir. So that is always there, sir. And you have rightly said, sir, this is the mindset of a manager, sir, which needs to be corrected. But, sir, I will go one step beyond this, the point which you have said, sir, that it has to actually percolate down from the top to bottom, and where everybody should agree on one point, that their job is to create an environment where the person feels like giving his best, because it is all about the kind of feeling which you generate. And you have rightly said, sir, that 6 months back that salary was very good for him, and then all of a sudden that salary has become the reason for leaving. It is not about the salary, sir. You rightly said, sir. It is about the feeling which he starts getting over there. I know, and you also know, sir, many people in the industry, correct, where the other company is ready to give them double the salary, but still they are not leaving their previous organization because they know that they cannot get the kind of feeling and the atmosphere which they are getting in their current company right now, sir.
Absolutely. It is the culture.
Yeah.
Culture
sir,
which is built from top to bottom.
Right, sir. And another, sir, few points are correct where I was listening to you very ardently, sir, and where I feel like that 2-3 points I should also add there. That one point when Arpan was asking you the question regarding that what kind of talent, the quality of the talent which is coming in the pharma industry. In fact, you, sir, you remember that for the last, means even in 2004, December to September 2010, we used to talk about the quality of talent, where you have brought in that very important, you can say, sea change in the approach in the training, where you said that let us call the people, correct, for the final interview at the Torrent Learning Center, And there, after the interview, we will make them sit in the training program. And in the first 3 days, if the person is not coming up to the mark, then we will ask him, to go back to his previous organization. And I think that was a great turning point, because till now also that entire pharma HR depends upon the talent flow on the area manager and the regional manager. And that is where you see that most of the, I would not say compromise, but I would say that that is where that most of that the pressure of filling up the vacancy comes as a rescue for them, and they say that this is the only candidate, correct, which we are getting, and it is good. And they start actually advocates for keeping the person, correct, in the organization. And even sometimes that means a hot debate happens that this person doesn't have the competency, but the business head tells us when he is happy keeping him, then why you are interjecting too much. And that is where, sir, correct, I still remember one line from what you have told in, I still starkly remember the day also, sir, that was 30th August 2009, when you said that how come this manager do not understand that they are handing over their future to the incompetent people under them. And that was a turning point, sir, in changing the mindset of a manager, sir.
I'm very excited.
Fantastic.
Right, sir. Right, sir. Right, sir.
What we spoke and what we interacted.
Right, sir.
During our 5 years of association.
Sir, every word in that 5 year of association is etched in my memory like anything, sir. And whenever, sir,
it's really a privilege.
Yeah. And sir, whenever I feel like that it is a difficult situation, I always think about had in my place, if Rao sir would have been there, what he could have thought about it, sir. And I definitely get the solution every time, sir.
Thank you. Thanks for coming in and saying nice words.
Sir, these are not words, sir. These are the
nice feelings. Nice feelings.
Yeah, these are the feelings which are coming from the bottom of the heart, sir.
Thank you very much for joining. Yes. I really thoroughly enjoyed the session also. We look forward to both of you in future also for our conclave.
Yes.
In 125 conclave on 11th.
You have it on 11th September in Ahmedabad, no? 11th September.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Ahmedabad.
Sir, yes.
I will plan my visit to Ahmedabad around that.
Yes, that will be great to have you. Sir.
Great.
We really thoroughly enjoyed today's session. It was a surprise element of Sushil sir coming live. Sir, thank you very much once again. Keep on guiding
yes,
us.
Yashwant sir, it was really a privilege for me to have two of my wonderful mentors, Rao sir and Sushil sir, together on LPC. In fact,
Arpan, I would say that mentor word is an English word, and that will be quite short of describing what Rao sir has done for me.
Hey, come on, man.
yes.
Sir, this is
He's an acharya. Acharya word,
sir,
guru
this
word,
is not,
these things.
Sir, this is not a flattering, sir, because I still remember, sir, that the way you keep the challenge, give the challenges to me and keep the envelope always pushing, sir. That itna nahi aata tere ko, itna nahi aata, and sir, that creates a lot of that introspection and reflection, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Family and all fine, Sushil.
Everybody is fine, sir. Yeah, we'll connect, sir. Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Arpan.
Once again, thank you very much, sir. Now over to Arpan for the closing remarks.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Yashwant,
for sharing your thoughts. There are a lot of questions also, but most of the questions are already addressed. For the time constraint, we are not taking more questions, but we are really grateful to all the viewers for their continuous learning and sharing. Over to Arpan for the closing remarks.
Thank you so much, Yashwant sir. First of all, DN sir, a wonderful session from your end, sir, and it was a fabulous learning. And we are looking forward to you for many more sessions. And thank you so much for accepting our invite to be a part of LPC 125 Conclave at Ahmedabad. We are really looking forward to your gracious presence there, sir. At the same time, Sushil sir, thank you so much for accepting our invite to be a part of LPC today. Sir, thank you so much for the kind words that you spoke. And thank you so much for once again being a part of LPC, because you are one of the founder of executives of LPC. And it's always a pleasure having you on this wonderful platform, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Privilege is always mine. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Sushil sir. And Yashwant sir, thank you so much for adding so much value to DN Rao sir's deliberation. So it's time I thank our session support partner, Imagica Health, for the uninterrupted support that they have been giving to our learning endeavor for such a long time. And we wish and we hope that you continue your support to us in our learning journey. And thank you so much for our audience who have been so participative, so innovative, and at the same time, the questions that you have sent to DN Rao sir has been really endearing and knowledge imparting. So please keep sharing your knowledge. Please keep sharing your thoughts. At the same time, let me just say one more time that we are still not over with COVID. So please maintain the COVID appropriate behavior of SMS, that is sanitization, mask and social distancing, along with the compulsory vaccination. Let us keep our environment clean and green, because that's the best gift that we can give to our next generation. And at the end of it, a small story, which I always do at the end of the LPC session. So today it's not a story, it's a small learning that I would like to share. There was a counselor who was taking a session on couples who were in the middle age of their life. So the couples had come and the counselor was taking a live session for them. And during the session, he requested a lady to come on the stage and write 100 people, the names of 100 people who are very important in her life. The counselor gave her 15 minutes to think of the people who are very important, 100 of them, and then she wrote down all the names on the board that was there on the stage. After she had written all the 100 names, there was a thunderous clap from the audience, because the 100 people that featured there, they were very important to her in her life. Now the counselor said, please erase the names of 5 of the people who are not so important to you. Now she erased the names of few of her friends with whom the connect was not so much. Then the counselor told her to erase the name of 10 people who are not so important. And she did. Some office colleagues, some neighbors. And this continued. And the counselor was asking her to erase 5, 10 or 15. After half an hour, there were only 4 names that were written on the board. They included her husband, her son, and her father and mother. So these were the 4 names who were most important to the lady in her life. Now the counselor said, you have to erase 2 more names and leave just 2 names on the board. She had to do a lot of thinking. And the next 2 names that she removed were that of her father and mother. The hall was totally silent, because father and mother is so very important to all of our lives. And she erased them as the 2 not so important people over her husband and son. Now the counselor said, you have to erase 1 more name and you have to leave only 1 name back on the blackboard. Guess whose name she removed? Yes, it was her son's. There was a thunderous applause when she removed her son, because now the counselor asked her to justify the last 3 names that she removed. And this is the justification that the lady gave. When there were 4 names on the blackboard, which included her husband, her son, her father, and mother, she removed her father's and mother's name. She said that in the course of time, my father and mother, they are already old and they will pass away. So I have to live my life without their support, without them. I will be left with my husband and my son. So I removed them because they are very transient as far as my life is concerned. They will not be there after some time. Next, I removed my son's name because when he grows up, he will find a wife and then he will start an independent living. So he will not be so important, nor I will be so important in his life. That means I will not be a priority to him in his life. I will be left with my husband till my last breath because he's the person who is my absolute priority in my life. So sometimes in life, we go to situations where we actually do not know what to prioritize. So friends, the first step to success is knowing your priorities, and those people who learn that the bottom line doesn't have to be their topmost priority. To change our lives, we need to change our priorities and decide what you want, decide what you are willing to exchange for it, and establish your priorities and then go to work. I have learned that we can do anything, but we cannot do everything. So at least not at the same time. So think of your priorities, not in terms of what activities you do, but when you do them. So timing the activity is very important in all of our life, and knowing our priorities, what is urgent, what is important. So these two things become very pivotal and so very important for us to be successful in our professional life. Once again, thank you so much to DN Rao sir. Thank you so much to Sushil Barkur sir. Thank you so much to Yashwant sir. And thank you so much to our wonderful audience for being part of this LPC 119 session. So this is Arpan Kumar Paul saying goodbye to all of you with a promise that we are once again going to reconnect with you next Sunday with a new set of leaders, a new set of thoughts, and a new set of learnings. Thank you so much. Have a great Sunday. Goodbye and namaste.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye, Yashwant, and bye-bye.
Thank you, sir. So with the permission, shall we conclude this session? Thank you, sir. So from here, now I'm ending this meeting. Have a good day to all.